What is up, my Yeterson Petersons? Today, I'm with my little brother. Tell us your name.
Chillings.
Tell us your name.
Mother J. Washington.
His name's Graham, and so today, when we got home from school, we had the idea. We were just talking about some of our least favorite teachers in the world. Decided, hey, this could be a good YouTube video. So,
But here's this little thing. We're not saying the teachers are bad. We're just telling y'all stories that happened.
no, we're saying that's exactly what we're saying. We're saying that the teacher's a horrible teacher. Hey, shout out to the teachers mentioned in this video.
You wouldn't actually show their names because that's a little.
We should probably use code names. Wait, remember, look at this one. Look at this camera, not this screen. Okay. We should probably use code names because we're probably not gonna have their permission. But
if this gets out to our friends,
there's
gonna be a rumor around the school definitely.
Well, we're in a different school now, but again, Adam,
it doesn't really matter.
Well, again, Adam might see, but okay. So we're just gonna use code names. We'll call one. Okay, so this one
trash.
Okay, so what should we call? Okay, we'll call the
fourth grade.
The fourth grade English teacher. We'll call her reading teacher. I meant. We'll call her Mrs. Snape, Professor Snape, because she reminded me a lot of Professor Snape. I mean, of course, unlike Professor Snape, she never turned out good in the end. She was horrible. She chose favorites. She was so mean.
There was only a couple
She had
times.
like black hair, like short black hair. It was like really stiff. And
She wasn't the tallest.
She was
Definitely not
short.
NBA.
Well, duh. I'm broken inside. Anyway, so we'll start off, and the English teacher for fourth grade, we'll call her. No,
Mrs. Mustard.
Mrs. Mustard. We'll call her Mrs. Mustard. So, we'll start, and we'll call the fifth grade math teacher, which is my story. You didn't have the fifth grade math teacher. We'll call her Mrs. Money. We'll call her Mrs. Money for reasons. Trust me, she's not a gold digger. It's just a joke. Okay, anyway. So, or do you want to start with Miss Snape, or do you want to start with
Miss
Mustard? Miss Mustard. Let's go with Miss Mustard.
What about, you want to mention any other teachers in this? Because we're just putting two teachers in here.
Well, we have like long history with these teachers, so.
We don't really have any other bad teachers. Like, my favorite teachers I've ever had was probably all my math teachers.
I hated all my math teachers.
Some of my teachers.
Well, okay, so Mrs. Mustard, huh? It's gonna be really hard to take her seriously, with that name. So Mrs. Mustard. She was a nice teacher. She was very nice. She was just bad at her job. The things she would make us do, writing prompts, like those like big old, like basically essays and stuff. She would assign us one thing to do. All the other English teachers in the grade did the same thing, and it was stupid. She would assign us this paper to do, and we'd have to do multiple steps before we did it. And one of the steps was we'd have to get a piece of paper, and then we'd have to write squares on them. In my grade, it was 6 squares, but you said in your grade that it was 8 squares.
No, it was 3.
It was 3 squares? You only had to do 3 squares? I had to do 6. Ow. Anyway.
No, because they fixed it, because it was really hard to put everything in like 6 squares. That would be a lot of writing.
She'd give us this first paper where we had to write
but she would make us do a lot of other
stuff. And we had to make this weird sun thing, and we'd have to write like, oh, these parts of the story in it. And then we'd have to write, and then we'd have to go to the squares, which is worst part ever. And you have to write the main thing about it, and you'd have to write some details. In each, you'd have to write the detail, and you'd have to write the main purpose of it in each of the 6 squares. And I hated it so much. These writing prompts were the only reason I failed 4th grade English. It was the worst.
Wait, are you talking about writing or English?
Writing and English are the same thing. Anyway, so I dreaded it with the depths of my soul, and I had a hard time focusing in 4th grade, because in 4th grade, I was extremely slow. Like, I was so slow. I was slower than him, and he is, like, actually, like, dyslexic. Well, you take medicine.
Well, that's not really dyslexic. It's ADD.
I
have
thought
ADHD. You have ADD.
I thought I had ADHD, but I don't have ADHD.
You have ADD.
I wasn't diagnosed or anything like that. But I was so slow. I'm now
giving away my medical records.
Well, I never, like, I was never diagnosed with ADHD. I was never, like, thought of it, but I was, like, slower than him. I'm fine now. I'm pretty fast. I'm fine now. I'm at a normal pace now. But back in 4th grade, I was extremely slow. I was slower than him, and he had ADHD. That was the year he was diagnosed with ADHD.
My feel good.
Anyway, and I never got the prompts done. I came out of that grade with a C in her class because I failed the writing prompt. And also on the STAR test that we take every year, I don't know what it's like in your state. If you're in America, I don't know. But in our state, it's called the STAR test. And on the STAR test, I made an A on the English STAR test, but on, like, the main part, but on the writing prompt, because I didn't finish the writing prompt, I made a C, and it was the worst thing of life.
I remember.
And one time, I would get snatched to her after I spent the entire year, all of the recesses, I spent my year in her classroom trying to finish those writing prompts. And one time, after the recess was done, I was about to go to class, she said, "What are you gonna do when you're in college? When you're in college?" Everything.
I'm gonna be working at the mustard plant.
That was the worst thing I heard from her. Anyway, your turn.
You want me to talk about the first 4th grade reading?
Not Mrs. Snape. We're talking about Mrs. Mustard right now. Do you Mrs. Mustard? Mrs. Mustard. Yes, that's the code name we gave her.
What? I didn't know.
ADHD.
Well, I didn't really have any bad experience with her. She was awesome. She was nice, but
He's a baby little.
I don't know.
Now let's talk. Should we save Mrs. Professor Snape to the end? Because we both had horrible experiences with her. Okay. So then I'll just talk about Miss Money. Miss Money, I hated her. I did not hate her as much as I hated Mrs. Snape, but I hated her because just kidding, I don't hate anybody, but like but she was so freaking two-faced. In front of teachers and parents, she would act like the little angel, but as soon as they turned their back, she'd be like, "No, what are you kids doing all those boys?
Sit your dirty butt down."
Yeah, sit your dirty butts down. He is so lucky that he didn't have her.
Yes.
Because she would have torn him to pieces.
That's the only reason I'm really happy to go into the new school.
She would never let like anybody like ask of like a question. She would only let kids like ask her a question if like they were like extremely like hard questions, but she'd rarely ever like, if you asked her a question, she would most likely yell at you. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. She'd yell at you for not listening, and it was ridiculous. And I didn't understand any of the things. I came out of her class with a C. No, it wasn't a C. I came out of her class with a D, a 67. And every other class I had like B, A, B, you know? C. I'm at D right there. It was the worst.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a story that my friend had. Like, I have a best friend named, I can give his name, code name, Luke, because that's what we call him in fourth grade. And he tells me stories about all his teachers are awesome. He has Coach Michael Jordan. He has.
Wait, which one of the coaches does that?
It's the science teacher.
Oh, my coach. Oh, I get it. Oh, okay. Sorry.
And I don't really. Those are the only two teachers I know he has. But I'm trying to soften my fake beard. Yeah, and he tells me stories of Miss Mula.
Miss Mula.
And he told me that him and Jack, they're like, Jack can be a little bad sometimes. Luke can act up some rarely. I act. And
I remember story.
I remember one time he was in Miss Cash's class. It was like a Thursday. It was like the teacher went to the restroom. I think the teacher goes to the restroom a lot, must be. And well, Miss Money was going like a serial killer pedophile right now. She was going like, "Come here, boy!" to these little 5-year-old kids when the teacher and when his parents are coming in and the parents look around, Kayla's like, yeah, she'd probably be like, "Come here, boy!" and attack them and stuff, yeah. And then, so Luke, he's sitting in the class, the teacher leaves the room, Miss Money is going crazy. She's getting mad at Luke, and Luke will Pooster he makes pretty good grades, but most of the time better than me. He does something bad on a review. And it's not even that bad. It's an 86. And she goes like, "Luke, why are you? You need to fix this." And he was like, "That's not that bad of a grade."
You get my tea out. It's my water. It's my clear tea. Advertisement. Study.
Not sponsored. And he's going around, and he's like, "This." And to me, that's not a bad grade, and to my parents, that's probably
To some of my friends, that's actually like the best grade they've ever gotten.
And sometimes that can be really good. That's really good for me, too.
Yes,
like
the Rubik's Cube. Don't judge me.
I was about to say fidget cube.
Fidget cube, whatever it is.
Rubik's cube. Oh, Rubik's cube, something new to thought.
A Rubik's Cube is something different. Anyway, just finish. Sorry.
And then you're making this hard.
You're making this hard. I'm gonna have to edit this out.
Miss Money said, he thinks that Miss Money said,
we're gonna have to
called him stupid. Jack said that she just said it smartly, just to not get, so he wouldn't say that. But Luke knew, and I wish I was at the school because I would like be really mad at her.
Now for the final finale, Mrs. Snape. We both had Mrs. Snape.
We didn't like her though.
Mrs. Snape sucked.
She hated me. She hated all my friends.
She hated me. Do you want to start off with her, or should I?
I want to start off with her because I have more stories and reasons.
No, she hated me more than you.
No, because I was.
She hated you because she hated me.
It's some of that, and then I escalated it. So let's start with you.
Okay, so how does this look like? You're judging us.
I'm not judging us. Who was gonna look through the window and see a bunch of 2 kids with?
You know what? I think you should start off first. Never mind.
Cause I have a more recent time.
Yours is more recent, but mine is definitely more extreme.
Mine wasn't that extreme. We would get Miss Snape so angry sometimes. So it wasn't the start of the year. She was just. We had a ton of kids and some nice kids in my class. I was friends with this really nice kid named Cade Candyville, and he was awesome. We were friends since the 2nd grade, summer of 2nd grade.
We called him his second family. We called his family his second.
Because I would go over to his house. He would beg me to go to his house all the time, and I would love to go to.
They went to like the beach like multiple times together.
It was awesome. He's awesome. He's one of my best friends, and we play video games a lot. Addiction. And
this isn't about your stupid friendship with Cade, okay?
You're supposed to say Cad Candy though.
Well, that's his name, okay? His name is Cade.
Private information.
He's not gonna care. He's not gonna care.
And because she thought I was hanging out with the gooder kids, so, and then I wasn't that bad. I was like I was in 3rd grade at the first half of the first semester, and then Miss Snape, she just got cranky. The second half of the semester, she got tired and just annoyed after Harvey. And she was before Harvey. She just wanted to be good on the first day so the parents would think she's a pretty good example per teacher. But Mrs. Snape, and I remember one time I was in her class, and this is one of the things that really made me mad. She said, she blamed me for a lot of things, and she sent my friend Luke to the corner, and she said, to the teacher's pet, hey, why is Luke talking to himself over there? And I was like, who do you think you are? And I literally said that. And she was like, it's none of your business. Give me your agenda. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't really care.
No, you should just go ahead and finish.
I had to take a little time to remember them.
Or we could make it a separate video where we talk about Miss Snape. Because Miss Snape, we had a lot of stories there.
I want to tell one more.
To be continued. After finishing editing the video. Yeah, so thanks so much for watching, guys, because you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations, you're an awesome person. And, hey guys, check out my Luna Love Big glasses. They came in today. Aren't these freaking amazing? They're for my Halloween costume. Aren't they just so cool? Anyway, I'm probably gonna wear them, like, forever. Anyway, but, yeah, thanks so much for watching. Smash that like button if you want to, see me more, I guess. And, comment down below if you want to, see my little brother more in the videos, because he really does enjoy being in the videos, and he'd be very hurt. But, yeah, also subscribe, because let me know I'm not lonely. Anyway, let's go. Bye. I do have shorts on. I'm not making it. Bye. But, TikTok and Instagram up there. By the way, I put my Instagram. I was the wrong Instagram last time. I meant the wrong TikTok last time. I put one of those thingadings up there, but now it's the right TikTok. Cause yeah, just check this one out. Not the one in the last video. Yeah, bye.